I'm doing it. I'm finally talking about head-to-head pinball machines. I kept saying I'll do it someday, so looks like today is that day. Head-to-head pinball machines are pinball machines where two players compete against each other on opposite sides, sometimes for points, sometimes for blood. These unique tables are much longer than your average pinball machines, all thanks to these two playfields getting married. Shit, I already made that joke with Total Recall. They're, these two, you get it, there's two of them. There's two of them because head-to-head pinball pits two players against each other in a battle to the death to see who can get that dastardly pinball down their opponent's drain. So kinda like foosball or stick hockey, but you know, cooler because it's pinball. There's been quite a few head-to-head tables over the years with many different shapes and styles, so we're gonna go down memory lane and do some good old reminiscing about pinball's weird brother. Memory lane? Huh? If these were so memorable, then why haven't I ever seen one in anyone's collection? And to that, my dear viewer, I say, you know, kinda shaped funny, isn't it? I'm not gonna do mental gymnastics to fit this guy in my game room. No, I'll stick with my normal pinball machines with safe and reliable designs. Thank you. Pinball fans want one thing and it's fucking Stern Spider-Man. Anyway, the earliest head-to-head table I could find is Electric Hockey from Exhibit all the way back in 1953, and just like any good 50s table, the flippers are just kinda thrown around. One player controls the red flippers and the other controls the yellow flippers. Go wild. 1964's Starfoot was made by Satan? Which is a company I just learned existed. This is the only thing they have on IPDB, so that should tell you all you need to know about them, which is actually a reoccurring theme with a lot of these guys. Oh well. Starfoot is much more compact than the last one, which is nice because it makes it easier to fit in the trash when you eventually decide to get rid of it. The game is based on soccer and is unique because all the flippers are facing down, making it difficult to catch the ball and probably leading to some fast-paced games. You also got two bumpers in the middle, and that's it. That'll be $5,000, please. Two bumpers? That's not impressive. Calcio's Italia has 4 bumpers. You see a lot of the same ideas for a while in games like Automatenbo Forrester's 1967 Foosball Europa Flipper, Roma Automatic's Miami Balls, which sounds like a parody, and Taito's 1967 Crown Soccer Special. That last one's a little interesting though, because it has these swaying posts and those mini goals. These games are all pretty similar to one another, and all of them have a soccer theme, cause, let's be honest, this is basically just foosball at this point. Okay, fine, it's very cool and interesting foosball, but foosball nonetheless. Even Bally got in on the action in 1967 with their Buddha Ball. Wow, good job guys. I would say that the first head-to-head table that's actually, you know, a pinball machine was Gottlieb's 1971 Challenger. So Gottlieb was doing what they normally do. They looked at head-to-head pinball and were like, I like that idea. I can also do that, but better. Gottlieb was sure of this idea and pulled together their resources to make 10 super special prototype challengers to send to test locations. When the results came in, everyone hated it. Well, that didn't go so well. Guess we'll just scrap the whole... Stop. Give me 100 of them. Huh? This thing? Yes, here is $1 gazillion so that I can personally have 100 challengers. Say less. So if I'm being honest, Gottlieb's Challenger is actually a really cool table. The playfield literally tilts depending on which player is on defense. The defending player goes for points, as you can see on this Pasueto backlash up here. Apparently it didn't test well because it was bland. I believe it. Not much going on here design-wise. Looks like even the mighty and powerful D. Gottlieb & Co. couldn't make it work. Anyone else got something they'd like to present to the whole class? Here's a weird one. 007 Flipper was a game made by VEB Luckenwalder Metal Waren Fabrik. Does it have anything to do with James Bond? No. Who made this? When did it come out? Why is it shaped like a bathtub? IMEM's Bicar is another game that I have no clue when it was made. Hey, this one looks like that carpet every zoomer loves. This game is cool because there's a bunch of gobble holes on both sides, which you can open up and try to capture the ball on your opponent's side. You can also shut this gate up to 3 times as seen by these little lights down here. So what's with the green UFO in the middle? Beats me, looks nice. Flip Shoot is a table we know nothing about. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because it looks like you control the flippers with these cranks. Weird. You could put some weights on those puppies and suddenly you got yourself a workout. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like head-to-head pinball was all that popular. There weren't that many made and people generally just didn't care about them. Why would I go through all the effort to play something that's kinda like foosball when I could just play foosball or air hockey? Or pinball, oh yeah, that too. So, for the rest of pinball's EM days, all the manufacturers collectively gave up on the idea. Nothing more than a failed experiment, but a new dawn was coming, and solid states were gonna bring with them a whole slew of wacky ideas. We're gonna do head-to-head again, said a group of manufacturers nobody's ever heard of. One of them's from Michigan. Look at my invasion strategy. Looks like fun, huh? Yeah, I never learned how to spell. That ain't it. How about my war? It's a head-to-head pinball machine and a cocktail pinball machine. Two things everyone loves. Look at that absolutely stunning artwork. Any takers? Here's our new international shootout. I don't know what this is even supposed to be. That's not even pinball. How about we agree to a game of my gotcha? You shoot the ball at each other and the flippers are hiding. But none of those worked out so well, so all those guys left and everyone agreed to finally let head-to-head pinball lay to rest. For like 4 years. In the meantime, video arcade games were coming in and making the pinball business go bye-bye. They tried to fight it, but eventually every single one of them paid their dues to the arcade demons. Let's check in on Williams. How's it going, Williams? Oh, look at you. You just made an arcade game, Joust, and it's even seeing a fair bit of success. Way to go. Now what are you gonna do? We're gonna make a Joust pinball machine. Oh yeah, because that worked so well for Gottlieb. Shut up. Okay, so how are we gonna make it play like the original? Looks like I gotta do all the work around here. So it's Joust, right? And you know who jousts? Knights. And when knights joust, they go at each other like head to head. Oh. And so Williams decided that for their Joust pinball machine, it was gonna be a head-to-head game. A round of applause for Williams. In reality, Williams had been planning to make a head-to-head pinball machine for a bit, and we're gonna name it Conflict, but then Joust kinda came out and did well, so Joust, you know, it works. Joust is probably the most involved head-to-head game we'll look at, and it comes complete with original Joust sound effects. Very nice. When the game starts, it'll shoot a ball into both players' sides, and you'll shoot things like these eggs for your egg bonus, the lava pit for its awards, and 3 hunter targets to light these guys. The only way to get the ball into your opponent's side is either through these spinners or this sneaky tunnel, and when the game's almost over, it'll go crazy and shoot a bunch of pinballs onto the playfield. And you can even play the game all by yourself if you have no friends. Finally, a game for me! Wow, what a fun game. Barry Oursler really stretched this concept to its limits. Anyway, Joust would only sell 402 units. Yeah, guess we're not trying that again. And I don't want to hear anything about some Joust 2, that's like Bigfoot or something. So is that it? Did head-to-head pinball finally die? I mean, it always does poorly. Everyone finally learned their lesson, right? Yes. And by yes, I mean no. I lied. That's it. I hate Gottlieb, said Gottlieb. That's not what Gottlieb's meant to be, so I'm gonna make my own Gottlieb to compete with the other Gottlieb and pay homage to the OG Gottlieb. What does any of this mean? It means Alvin's making a new company at the worst time in pinball history. And what's he got on his mind for their first line of pinball machines? You guessed it. Head-to-head, baby. AG Soccer Ball, AG Football, and USA Football are all basically the same thing. They're similar enough to Joust, but both sides have this goalie drop target, and these 3 drop targets over here net you the jackpot, which launches the ball through this lane to the other player's side. The flyer promotes these new revolutionary switch flippers, which, if you're flying solo once again, allow you to play against a computer player. Switch flippers react when the ball hits them by automatically shooting the ball back at you. Probably not as fun as playing against a real flesh and blood human, but it's something. The 3 games had a combined production run of 1,100, which I think makes them the most successful head-to-head tables to date. Not half bad, Alvin. Great, so head-to-head finally saw some success. Surely this means that we can finally shelf the concept for good. Hey, it was a good run, but wait, who are you? Yeah, it turns out there's still a company making these kind of pinball machines in current year, and coming from someone you wouldn't expect. Weiqi in Taiwan has been making amusement games since 1980. Look at this old arcade game. Is it any good? It's okay, baby. Weiqi makes a lot more than this though, like a popcorn machine, video slots, crane games. They have some colorful redemption games like Punch Monkey and Punch Naughty Elves. Sheesh, is it getting hot in here? They make some kiosks too. Oh, just kidding, guess they don't. And there we have it. The star of the show, pinball. Weiqi's head-to-head pinball machine comes in 3 flavors, Space War, Bubbles Pop, and Football again. This line of tables fits under the snug little name Super Pinball Pong Pong Ball. It's kinda like Pinball meets Hungry Hungry Hippos, with the game constantly releasing a bunch of balls onto the playfield. I don't know, it looks like it plays like a lot of other modern arcade/redemption games. Kinda reminds me of Balls of Poppin', or maybe that one Mario Party minigame. Probably fun, I don't know, I haven't played it. That's about it though. What was the final nail in the coffin for head head-to-head pinball? Well, I guess it never really died off, did it? More like went into hibernation every now and again. If I'm being honest, it makes sense that this was the direction this style of pinball went in. Head-to-head is never gonna be quite as fun as normal pinball, so watering it down and making it play more like a redemption game just works out better for general audiences. There's still just a little bit to go over. Highway's first pinball machine was actually a vintage-style flipperless two-player game called Bacardi Cuba Libre. Someone once made a triple head-to-head pinball machine based on Jungle Lord. Why Jungle Lord? Why not Jungle Lord? I think that's the real question. But with that, I think it's a good time to end the video. But what about you guys? What pinball topics do you want to see? Let me know. And thanks for watching.